Welcome into the lounge, or as Philly sports fans might call it, a war zone. Our chance to divulge some thoughts on the week that was, or the biggest driver in sports at the moment. It is quite fair to say that one team here is at the center, or quite literally, one man. In case you're wondering who it is, it's the man that a random fan was screaming at to trade in the back of our live shots from Philly this time last week, Ben Simmons. The frustration is understandable. My parents' 6-pound dog named Hazel put up as many shots in the fourth quarter as Ben Simmons did in the back half of that series. But here's where we need to get out of Loopyville. 1, you aren't going to get what you think for him. And 2, he might just stay here. Let's go through the first scenario because that's all anyone wants to talk about right now. Riddle me this. Since when has any guy been shamed out of town the way this guy is at the moment and got a decent return for him? If this is at the trade deadline, a completely different story. But you are literally getting this man at the lowest point of his career. And saying that after an all-defensive first-team season and an all-star selection is mind-blowing. Because all of you out there wanting to compartmentalize the reality of the return, in one breath you want to boo him to nauseam, and in the next, you think you're getting an all-star back in return. To quote the infamous Rick Pitino, Larry Bird is not walking through that door, Kevin McHale is not walking through that door, Robert Parrish is not walking through that door. You know what you get? Patrick Williams. Who's Patrick Williams, you ask? I have no idea. For all I know, he could be a character on Modern Family. It is one of the options that ESPN's Zach Lowe painted in a column I was reading this morning. And no knock on Zach, he's tremendous. He's being realistic. He laid out 6 trade options for Simmons that might make sense. And in case you're wondering, there is only one All-Star from last season involved in any of them, and it's a stretch to say the least. That would be Zach LaVine. That is also where our friend Patrick Williams comes into play. He was part of that possibility, but LaVine had a breakthrough year. You saw it firsthand. He dropped 50 this past season. That scoring output doesn't come around often in the league. Hard to imagine they dump him for a guy who quite literally couldn't toss a fish into the ocean. Besides that, Buddy Hield and Marvin Bagley over in Sacramento could be a thing. Yeah, dealing with the franchise who hasn't been to the playoffs since 2006. Good stuff. Let that sink in. People were throwing around Damian Lillard's name left and right after the reports and suspicions start to pour out that he might want out of Portland. Because, yes, the Blazers would trade a guy who literally shoots from the logo with a better percentage than a guy from the line with nobody guarding him. That's true, by the way. Lillard, the career 37% from 3. Simmons, NBA postseason record low 34% on free throws. So, yes, I understand I'm shooting all these down, but shockingly, there is one that I actually kind of like. Better yet, makes sense for both sides. But it could be dangerous. DeMar DeRozan out in San Antonio. Yes, the guy's 31 years old, and he did just average 22 points a game and 7 assists, though. And the good news, he actually shoots in crunch time. How about that? He has numerous game winners in his career. Now, I won't say everyone is the biggest DeRozan guy because, well, his reputation in Toronto was being the center talk of why his squad couldn't get it done in the postseason. Sound familiar? You might be trading in one broken smoke alarm for one that beeps even louder. But the Sixers are in win-now mode. That Simmons jumper is in I-81 mode, and it ain't getting done anytime soon. Better yet, take a chance on a guy that at least has the courage to shoot it as opposed to one who outright refuses an open dunk with 3 minutes to go in a 2-point game of a winner-take-all affair. What I'm trying to get through to you is that it isn't an all-star that's coming back. And if it is, it's one with flaws equal to Simmons. It won't be a star at all. You're getting 2 decent role pieces at best. Do what girls said to me prior to the age of 18. Hey, buddy, set the bar lower. And look at me now, a lounge that isn't sponsored. So think twice before you do the Simmons trade talk, because sometimes the grass isn't greener, and then sometimes there isn't grass at all.